New phone who dis? Y'all, let's talk about the incoming banners for Danmachi. Now, before I do this, I did say that there was a little something I was going to talk about that might make your life a little bit easier when it comes to your free-to-play Iris and this event. Now, this does kind of mostly talk to the people that have been playing the game for a little bit, but also this is something that you guys want to be aware of going into this, because anytime we get time-limited units, I'm looking at, the winter time, I'm looking at over the summer for the anniversaries. Sometimes we get them periodically for different, calendar events. I don't believe the Valentine's units are time-limited, but sometimes they wind up being so. Anytime you have a time-limited unit, basically you have a handful of options to pull these units. Right now, when the rerun happens again in like late April, May, sometime like that, and usually by that point you don't really care anymore, to be honest. There's going to be maybe one or two units that matter, but what we're really looking for are units that kind of are going to last a long time and hit well. Kind of like when, I underestimated Argana and she turned out to be really, really, really good. I'll talk about her towards the end of the video, so we'll stave off that thought for a moment. But we're talking about time-limited units. There's one big thing you need to be aware of. We're going to switch back over to the game here. Now, in the game, there are multiple ways to get bonds for units, and one of the most common, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, are star bonds. Now, prism bonds are for non-time limited units. They're for units that you can get every single day, and if you go to the Serious and Dupe Exchange, you can get a prism bond. Also, if you've been collecting your hero medals and flame amulets, you can come in here and get some as well. I've actually spent all of mine this month because of reasons. But there's another way, and this one is one that a lot of people probably have been overlooking, and that is through gnome tickets. Now, if we go to the gnome ticket exchange, you'll see there's a star bond for an adventure and a star bond for an assist, okay? And these are unlimited. Like, you can buy a ton of these. In fact, I did buy one just recently, and I've almost replenished my collection of gnome tickets back in here. Now, how do you collect gnome tickets? Well, very simply, whenever we get a tail, if you actually go in here to the exchange, bam. I still haven't escalated that. All right, we'll have to work on that on stream tonight. That's a bit weird. I swear I have like 3 times now. So if you go in here to the exchange, side note, down here, it's usually towards the top, but now that they moved everything you purchased towards the bottom, you'll see gnome tickets, gnome tickets, gnome tickets. So there are, I want to say, each one of these is like 5 or 10 gnome tickets. It's not a huge number. But the biggest way you're going to get gnome tickets is simply by running this event and farming it. Now, when you're farming for gachas, basically these gacha coins, you're also collecting gnome tickets along the way, because every time you get a gacha coin, you're basically ranking up, leveling up. So the large item here, I forget what they're called, but the large item there basically is kind of your counter. So when you've amassed a sum total of 5,500 of those, you collect all the gnome ticket rewards. Basically, all your gnome ticket rewards are here in the guild, and you'll go into time limited units. In fact, you'll see I didn't quite get those for the early event, but I'm going to be farming these up to this afternoon, this evening. So you'll see I have 3,800 here, and I honestly didn't do it just because I was planning to do it for this video. So as much as it's like egg in my face, it's not done. It's actually kind of a good thing because I can bring you guys this content. So I got 3,800 of those. I could drop another 100 potato snacks or something tonight before stream, farm all those up, and go back over here into this exchange. See, I right now have 1,223, but I have like 3,800 total. And as you collect those, you're going to just basically be collecting gnome tickets, okay? And if you look in the exchange, actually, I've already collected the gnome tickets in there. I just have to decide what I'm going to do with my exchange on those. So those gnome tickets are good for star bonds. And in fact, you'll notice there's other things you can buy in here, like 4-star tickets and all that. Save them all for star bonds, guys. It's super, 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 super important. Anyway, I've harped on that long enough. Let's get back to the before you summon. Because if you'll notice I have 5,500 over here. If I really wanted to, that's, 3 assist star bonds and an adventure star bond? Not including the stuff we're getting for the heroic trials for both banners. We're only getting one tonight, and then about in a week or two we'll get the other one. So these are just things you need to know for the free-to-play aspect of this. Saving and saving and saving items like this, so that you're prepared for when things come up. So whenever you have a tail, make sure you're farming, make sure you're checking the guild, and make sure you've got all your rewards. Like I said, I don't here, but I'll be acquiring those tonight. Also need to S-clear that thing. I swear I did. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let's get back to the Before You Summon video, and let's talk about this. Now you know, like, there's a possibility that some of the units you want, you may not have to go as deep as you kind of expected. So, things to consider, all right? And a lot of that is stuff that you're going to kind of take forward in the game with you too. So, you know, this isn't just today. This is like anytime we get time-limited stuff. So I'm going to be saving probably a good 3,000-4,000 gnome tickets, maybe even more, but then again, I do have a tendency to whale. But even if you blow a lot of them, you'll be able to reamass quite a few of them. I usually try to maintain between winter and summer at least 6,000, just to make sure that I'm prepared for whatever is coming. So let's get back into it. All right, the banners. All right, let's talk about Ryu. All right, Ryu's kind of a question mark for me, if I'm honest. Now, she's got okay stats. She's a little squishy on the HP side. She's got excellent MP. Really, really, really good MP. But she's strange. Now, I'll tell you why here in just a second. So skill 1 on her is a faux singular, fast, mid-water magic attack with ultra critical. For 4 turns, self, magic, and water damage plus 60%. Faux, single target resistance minus 20%. That's really good. Single target resistance 20% is the best we have as an actual skill on really anybody that does single target resistance. So that's about as good as you can get. So magic and water element damage 60%. That'll add up really fast, especially when you consider you're probably going to wind up getting that magic skill up to 100%. So she's going to hit really, really well. Skill 2 is a faux singular super wind magic attack. I'm going to guess that's super water magic attack, not wind. I'm going to guess that's water. Yeah. Yeah, that's water magic attack. This was a typo. So faux singular super water magic attack with ultra unguard rate and temporary magic boost for 2 turns, strength and magic minus 45%. That's a really good debuff. And I'll say this, if nothing else, getting Ryu just for that debuff is handy, because there are situations where, like with the Earth Otaro we got over the anniversary over the summer, where you could just use them as a sack in like 7th zone or any single target event, and your other units will be able to hold their own. So if nothing else, you just get 1 unit, you'll be happy. Okay? You don't need her, but if you get her and you're like me. Like, I go hard on Record Buster. She's going to be awesome for my Record Buster team, because she's going to hit hard. Skill 3 is a faux singular, slow, high magic attack. I'm going to guess that's a water magic attack. For every single target resistance debuff on the enemy, skill damage plus 85%. Reduces single target resistance debuff duration by 1 turn on the foe. So when you hit, basically she's going to, instead of like, normally where it goes down 1 turn, it's going to go down 2 turns. So if you have the single target resistance buffed up pretty high, you're not going to be in a world of hurt. If there's like, 8-9 turns on it, sure, at the end of the turn when you finally hit with this, it's going to be down to 7. But, as long as you don't spam it, you're not going to be hurting that much. Also, I forget what the MP cost is. Someone gave me the MP cost on her attacks, but it's surprisingly little. She's going to hit really, really, really hard. And also remember that 85% per single target resistance debuff counts on both adventure and assist. So if you have an assist, a single target resistance debuff, and Ryu or any other adventure single target resistance debuff, double that up. That's 170%. 170% plus whatever you're hitting with. She's going to be an absolute monster for Record Buster. Really good for Record Buster. Mark my words on that one. Okay? Now her SA. Special Arts. Faux singular ultra water. That's how I kind of figured it was water. Magic attack with ultra unguard rate for 4 turns AoE and single target resistance down 25%. So remember what I was saying, that the 25% debuff, the single target resistance debuff reduces for 2 turns. So basically your goal would be skill 1, skill 2, and then SA, skill 3. Kind of get my drift. And the nice part is, skill 3 is going to be a crazy big attack. Skill 3 is actually going to be her bigger attack. It's probably going to hit maybe twice as hard as skill 2 is. It's just skill 2 is going to be a little bit less expensive to get out. So it's a weird situation where the high attack is probably going to be way harder than the super attack. Really weird that. But it is a slow move, and it is very conditional. And it's very expensive too. So you want to make sure that you're accommodating for that. I think it was like 75 MP cost or something like that. Not the end of the world by a long shot. You can definitely work your way around it, but not something you're going to be spamming. Passives for you are fire resistance plus 35%. Counters are water element. For every single target, resistance debuff in the enemy. Counter damage plus 35%. She's going to hit like a truck. Penetration damage plus 25%. Magic agility and dex 30%. And she is a plant killer. And we talked about this yesterday, but I do expect that whatever the next Familia event we get is going to be plant-based. Ew. It's going to be Beyond Familia Rush. There you go. I'm calling you now. Beyond Familia Rush incoming. Hashtag Beyond Familia Rush in the comment section down below if you are paying attention to this juncture. All right, that's Ryu. Now let's talk about Raul. Raul's strange. Raul's a weird situation, all right? Skill 1 for Raul is a foes, plural, so AoE build. Super Wind Physical Attack. On a skill 1, mind you, Super Wind Physical Attack with temporary strength boost and Ultra Encounter. Gain 3 additional actions, foes, low wind physical attack. Okay? Skill 2 for him. Foes, plural again. Fast, high wind physical attack with Ultra Encounter and temporary strength boost. Removes all AoE resistance and guard rate buffs. So, a good support for Wargame is pretty much what Raul's going to be. Raul's kind of be the stall breaker in a way. He's going to work with some of the other units we're getting and be very, very, very good for that. He's not going to really be boosted as far as like, he's not going to get a crazy good buff for his strength or his element or all this stuff. No, he's like a support. He's coming in to debuff the crap out of your enemies. And that's really what he's doing. Like, he's just the support unit that takes the wind completely out of their sails so that everybody else can come in and do their job. Passives. Oh, let's go do a special. Skill 3 is a foe singular high wind physical attack with ultra critical and temporary great strength boost. You're never going to use that. It's going to hit like a flower. Special arts. Foes, plural. Ultra wind physical attack with temporary great strength boost. Ultra critical, and for 1 turn, allies wind damage plus 100%. That is good, but it's really conditional because you got to have somebody to replicate that wind damage 100%. Just think of him as a support unit for Wargame. So that's the best way to look at this guy. Support unit for Wargame to take that AoE resistance and guard rate buff completely out of the question, and he's going to do several attacks which all hit pretty well. So that's what old boy is. Straightforward. As straightforward as it could ever get. Is he going to be amazing? No. Is he going to be useful? Absolutely. So, very interesting unit. Not a whole lot more needs to be said about him. If you're a Wargame main, if you really, really, really are intent on breaking those stall teams and getting the high Jester levels, sure. For the average free-to-play player, I don't really think you're going to need it. And I'm saying, the person that's getting King 1, Jester 3 by just using a really good AoE team, I think that's going to I think he's going to be overrated for a lot of those people. Most free-to-play players are not going to care about this unit. I hear a lot of the Wargame whales and people like that losing their minds on me right now, but it's just real. If I'm talking to the free-to-play player, you're not going to really care about this unit. Now, there are times where the AoE resistance and guard rate removal will come in handy, but I think he's the only unit that does both of those. Pretty sure. So, but is it worthwhile, chasing that? I don't think so. I would chase Ryu long before that, and then just better your Record Buster scores. It's the best way I can handle that. Now, obviously, that does mean that you're going to be hitting this banner. You'll probably pull him, whatever, but don't chase him. That's kind of my answer. Don't chase him. And that's to the free-to-play player once again. Now, Leafia. I'm not even going to touch what's wrong with this Leafia unit. Leafia is a foes, plural, 45% sleep Endurance, agility, and dex minus 10%. So if you are a serious wargame player, if you're like crazy about your ailment teams and whatnot, you're going to want this Leafia. 45% sleep is going to be disgusting. Most players aren't going to care. Sleep really only works in PvP. Does not work much in PvE, I don't think at all, in fact. Maybe during the story event, but who cares about that? We kill that stuff so quickly anyway, and then any major foe you're gonna face is gonna nullify it anyway. She's 100% strictly a PvP unit, and if you're not gonna build an ailment team, you're not gonna want this unit. Free to play players, unless you're going full ailment, back away now. Ryu's gonna be great, and it sucks that she's on this banner, because I'd really think for most people hitting the other banner is going to be better. So let's actually talk about that banner, okay? Here's Leafia's stats. Once again, not end of the world stuff. This is the banner that most of y'all are going to want to hit. Now, it is really unfortunate that Philvis is here and not Ryu, but we'll get to that. We'll get it, because I completely forget what Philvis does, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong about her, but let's just see. All right? We are going to start with Anya. I'm sorry, Anya Kitty. Anya Kitty, not Anya. Anya's the other one. Anya Kitty. They're both Anyas and they're both cats. Why do they have to... Anyway. Anya Kitty, absolutely adorable card art. I'm sure everybody's just going to get that one for collection purposes. Brings out the crazy old cat lady in all of us. What can I say? Skill 1, allies, slow for 3 turns, strength and wind damage plus 35%. Now, here's where it gets nuts. Hear me out on this, all right? Anya is the lead killer. And when I say lead, I mean the lizard man. It's iguana, as they were calling it last night. The new Xenos that is like crazy good in wargames. She's going to eviscerate him. Funny enough, she's going to eviscerate him as a result of being not as good. But hear me out. Understand how skill 1 works. Because skill 1, let's set that over there because I'm going to get excited about this one. Skill 1 is where it all happens, is where this whole thing is going down. So if you've been worried about losing to lead in the War Games events, worry no more. She's going to come out of the gate with skill 1. She's going to set her to buff because she's going to buff strength and wind attack damage on herself. Then she's going to, on that same attack, she's going to do a removal of all strength, magic, and agility buffs except assist skills. Basically, anybody that just buffed agility on turn 1, that's hoping to go into turn 2 and get an early hit, she's like, nah. That ain't happening, Chief. Nothing doing. So, takes that agility buff away. And on top of that, takes away the strength buff that lead is going to be using to hit everyone like an absolute truck. Now, he's still going to hit hard. It's not going to feel great, but it's not going to hit anywhere near as hard as it was before. Now, how does all this work? Well, lead is also a slow unit. Lead's buff goes very late in turn 1. So the only way to counteract this is to hit him with somebody that removes all that hits after he does. This unit is also slow. Now, once the slow modifier is put on there, then you have to take agility into account. Lead has an 1100 agility stat. Anya Kitty has 782. Lead is always going to hit before her 100% of the time, unless he's not max limit broken. And that's going to be what's really interesting. The fights between like +4 leads and Anya Kitty and MLB Anya Kitties. That actually might be an interesting fight. We'd have to see how that plays out. That would be really, really, really interesting to see how that works. But yeah, she's going to take their wind out of their sails and she's going to laugh at lead. She takes everything he does, throws it in the trash. It's great. And that's just skill 1. Skill 2 then comes along. Foes plural, super wind physical attack with ultra on guard and temporary strength boost. For 2 turns, physical resist and wind resist minus 30% and dex minus 40%, which is their counter rate. She's going to then hit with a counter reduction, and she's going to hit with, a great unguard rate, so she's going to hit with a crazy, you're not going to be able to guard her attack. It's nuts. And then a physical resist and wind resist reduction, so that on turn 3, if she comes in and hits again, she's going to just take everybody out. If you build a really good physical wind team, they're done. They're done. Physical wind is going to destroy the fire teams. Just rip them a new one. Skill 3 is a foe singular high wind physical attack with ultra critical rate for every strength buff on herself. Gets skill damage 40%. Once again, it's an 80% buff if you have assist skills. Pretty straightforward. Nothing really groundbreaking there. And you use those sometimes in, like, 7th zone and places like that. Not the greatest unit for... Well, even with her physical resist and wind resist debuff, she actually might work in Wrecker Buster. So that's very interesting unit either way. But yeah, the new Wargame unit. Everybody's going to want this unit. You got to have this unit. Special Arts, Foes Plural, Ultra Wind Physical Attack with temporary great strength boost. Ultra Unguard Rate, Allies removes all debuffs except assist skills. So all debuffs on all units are gone. That's really, really, really handy. But once again, she's a Wargame build. You're probably never going to use that. But, if you do, I'd probably use Fells, honestly. Use Fells for the Resurrection, if nothing else. Don't use this one. Just my 2 cents on the matter. But everybody, if you do Wargame, you're going to want Anya Kitty. If you don't have Anya Kitty, you're out of the running of Wargame. I hate to say that, but it's just real. Passives. Earth resist plus 35%. Counters or wind element. Counter damage is 50%. Penetration damage is 15%. Strength and endurance is 30%. And once again, she is a plant killer. So, more plant-based enemies on the way. Read that for what it is worth. Filvis. Another magic unit. Really good magic stat, but a little on the squishy side when it comes to the HP. She's about 400 or so low of where we'd like to be. A lot of MP, though, which you can expect from a magic unit. Let's talk about what she does. Skill 1 is a self. For 3 turns, magic, agility, and water damage plus 60%. Agility plus 60% means she's going to hit first every single time. It's nuts. Pretty wild. Skill 2 is a Foes Plural. Oh, I'm sorry. Still on Skill 1. After she does that, she then gains 3 additional actions. Low water magic attack. So she has that new mechanic too. I say new mechanic. The mechanic they introduced with the anniversary. Skill 2 is a Foes Plural. Fast high water magic attack with Ultra Unguard. For 3 turns, physical resist, magic resist, and water resist minus 30%. The fact that it's an Unguard, basically it's the same thing as Anya Kitty's second attack. It's a big debuff. It's great. It's 3 turns. What do you need? If you need a water resistance debuffer, get 1, walk away. That's about the best thing she's going to be good for. Well, I take that back. She's going to hit pretty well. That agility and all stats buff 60% is going to be good. She's going to hit really well for all general events. But I'm going to be real. Probably, I don't know if she'd fit on the Wargame team with Anya Kitty. I feel like Anya Kitty, you're kind of building win team. I don't know. We'll have to see. But either way, she's going to hit very, very well. She is going to be very fast. Basically, the magic rush is back with her because she's got an 1148 strength boost. Or I'm sorry, agility stat, but she's going to multiply that by 60%. So you're like talking 2,000. It's going to be nuts. She's going first every single time. Doesn't matter. So if you want a fast unit, a magic rush unit, here you go. Soma. So Soma is absolutely necessary if you're going after Anya Kitty. If you're going after Anya Kitty, you gotta have Soma, 100%. Soma is assist skill. Foes, plural, AoE and single target resistance 15%. Allies, water damage and wind damage plus 15%. Remember that single target debuff is basically what makes... I'm sorry, not Anya Kitty, Ryu. But even for Anya Kitty, he's got that wind resistance debuff. Ryu, for that single target resistance, basically he works with like everybody on here. He's good for Anya Kitty because he's got the wind damage up. He's good for Ryu because he's got the single target down. He's also got an AoE resistance down, which is going to be really good for Anya Kitty as well. Guys, it doesn't matter what you're doing, summon for Soma on this banner. If there's anybody you're after on this banner adventure-wise, you got to get Soma. And I know I got a big complaint yesterday in the other video for really hyping up assists, but I'm here to tell you 100%, and I'm going to be very candid about this. If you are looking at units and you're saying I could get, 4 adventurers for what I can get 1 assist, think about how much value that puts in that assist. The game knows, the developers know, they're not dummies. The assist, while assist you look at it as only a 5% difference between level 60 and level 80. Why would I go to maximum break the unit? It's the stats. You're not going to get these stats at a lower level. Really, when it comes to an assist, they fall off the map. So like he's strength, AoE and single target down 15%. He'd be like 7% tops at level 60. So it's going to fall off real fast. Water damage and wind damage is 15% as well. That's going to be like 8%. It's not going to go to 10%. Even then, if it did, that 5% is well worth, because once again, you're getting so much more out of that because it affects all of your units. If you're going to be hitting this banner at all, you need to focus on Soma. You need to max Soma out because everybody here is going to rely on him. He's a very good assist for this banner. Now, if you're skipping the banner for whatever reason, or you're only getting 1 or 2 units, sure. But if you're going to go hard on this banner, definitely get Soma. And I would recommend at least getting an Anya Kitty for, for Wargame, and Ryu for Record Buster. That's kind of my recommendation. Get Anya Kitty for Wargame, get Ryu for Record Buster, get Soma to support both of them. You'll be perfectly happy. That's the best possible situation. You got to have these assists. It's just super, super important. Okay? Is the banner good? I really feel like the Soma and Anya Kitty banner is a little bit better because it's both of them, and Philvis is still useful as a sack. But I feel like Ryu's going to be a long-lasting character in Record Buster. She's going to go for a long time. Magic single target generally is a rare thing, so when you need that, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. You just need Soma for Wind and Water units. Period, end of discussion. You need Soma for Wind and Water units. No questions asked. And Anya Kitty, like I said before, I harped on it for a while. She is the Wargame killer. She's the lead killer. You got to have her. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's talk about the anime unit. Because I'm going to be honest. Do the free pull and then skip the rest. Okay? Even my free-to-play people, even my people that are like brand new at the game, there's a seer that is a 3-star, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So you don't need her for CP levels. Her skill is foes, plural, critical rate, penetration rate, and counter rate minus 25%, ally strength plus 15. Everything we've got there is, so don't get me wrong, critical rate, penetration rate, and counter rate down 25% is good, but it's not end of the world stuff. It's not going to change anything. And if anything, the current meta that we're going into with Anya and bringing back the magic buffs, or I'm sorry, magic rushes, she's going to be rather, I won't say worthless, but kind of a little bit. She's an easy pass. I'll just say it. It's an easy pass. And the ally strength 15%. We've got 20% in the game now, so it's just kind of a waste. Walk away from this one. She's completely unnecessary. Maybe you pull her in the freebie. Congratulations, but don't chase her. Now, this is a big talking point right here, and I wanted to get to this. I did check today in the game, and as of this moment, as of recordings, I should say, we have not gotten a change in the general pool yet. But I do suspect maybe tonight after 9 p.m. when everything goes live, it might reflect that. So check your 3-star and 2-star tickets. If they change, if they show new units, they might show the Amazons and whatnot. Then that does mean that all these units have finally been added to the general pool. But if you're looking here at this banner, this is actually the wrong banner. Why did I pull up the other banner? Anyway, the banner from the data mines that we had this morning, that's the one you should really be paying attention to, because it's got the bell from the anniversary in there. It's got Lead in there, who I know we just said is going to kind of be irrelevant, but You know, it's got basically anybody new in there. It's even got the most recent Amazons that are still live today. So that is a paid banner, but that does reflect the fact that the general pool is updating. So a lot of people were asking me, should I get the Amazons? And I would say at this point, Organa's great. But if you get her, you got to chase Kali. All of them are in the general pool. Maybe you'll get lucky with tickets, guys. And really, Anya Kitty is so much more valuable than Organa when it comes to War Games teams. Save for these incoming time-limited banners, my opinion. But maybe you'll be able to pull them. Now, this is a paid-only banner, but I'm going to be honest. The one we're getting tonight is 20 units only. That banner is so good. So good. That banner is worth hitting with your paid Iris. If you're going to be buying any of the Iris on the Black Friday sales or anything like that, coming up this weekend, then definitely hit this banner. It's just incredibly worth. You get 10 units for 260 paid Iris. No brainer, guys. Absolute no brainer. But once again, that's not free to play. That is paid Iris. So do plan accordingly. But that's the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. The banner that we're getting tonight isn't this one. It's actually the 2020 units. So every unit we've gotten in 2020 is in that banner, including the Amazons that are leaving tonight. So worth. Absolutely worth. There's so few units we have in 2020 that have not been at least respectable. So, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Like, comment, share. Good luck in your summons if you plan to do so. If you disagree with me, definitely put it in the comments section. Tell me why. Don't just say I disagree. Because once again, the more opinions we can get, the more we can help inform the newer players. Because people are going to be asking all kinds of questions. We're getting new players all the time. And I'm not saying I have the right answers. This is an opinion piece. The more opinions we can get, the better. So, comment. I'll see you guys on the live stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.